and welcome to another episode of the Tokyo Dispatch. I'm Sidney Kiran and I will give you an update on the major happenings on day 7 of the Olympics. If you've been following India's performance, we finally have something to cheer about. More about that later in the video. Also in the video, athletics, one of the two jewels of the Olympics, is scheduled to start tomorrow, but with an athlete testing positive, concerns mount for the organizers. But first, before we go into all of that, let's take a look at today's top stories. Mary Kom crashes out of the Olympic Games after falling to INGRIT Valencia in the pre-quarterfinals. Chinese women claim gold in a world record-breaking performance in the 4x200 relay. US star DRESSEL aces the 100-meter freestyle event, winning his second gold. After US pole vaulter Sam Kendricks tests positive for COVID-19, multiple members of Australia's track and field are placed in isolation. India's medal hope PV Sindhu storms into the quarterfinals, defeating Denmark's Mia BLICHFELDT. Also advancing to the quarterfinals is Indian men's hockey team after defeating Argentina, the current Olympic champions. India's Anirban Lahiri makes a solid start in the opening round of the golf competition to be placed tied 6th. As always, the medals tally appears at the end of this video, so do stick around for that. Moving on, let's quickly take a look at India's performance today. Ever since Mirabai Chanu won a weightlifting silver on Saturday, it has been a disappointing campaign for India, with highly celebrated shooters firing blanks and archers also underperforming in mixed team and men's team events. But today, some hope was reignited with some fine performances, although it'll only get tougher from here on. So here's what the Indians did. In gun form in the group stage, where she vanquished all her opponents in quick time, world champion PV Sindhu faced a formidable opponent in Denmark's Mia BLICHFELDT, the 13th seed. The Rio Olympic silver medalist, however, dusted off the Dane in a mere 41 minutes to set up a mouth-watering quarterfinal against Japan's Akane Yamaguchi. While Sindhu holds a superior 11-7 head-to-head record against Yamaguchi, the Japanese will be determined to keep a country's flag flying high. It's going to be one cracking quarterfinal. On to hockey now. After suffering a 7-1 hammering against Australia, it seemed like the Indian men's hockey team would crash and burn. But they showed their character by bouncing back to beat Spain 3-0 2 days ago, and today they scored twice in the final quarter to beat defending champions Argentina to secure a quarterfinal berth. After a goalless first 2 quarters, India broke the deadlock in the 43rd minute through Varun Kumar before Vivek Sagar Prasad and Harmanpreet Singh struck in the closing minutes of the match to seal the contest. Indian shooters Manu placed 5th and Rahi Sarnobat was 25th in the women's 25-meter pistol qualification. After failing in the 10-meter individual and mixed team event, it was the final roll of the dice for Manu, and she delivered, hitting 292 after 30 shots on target in the precision round. The second stage of the qualification, the rapid round, will take place tomorrow, and the top 8 in the qualification will enter the final. SATISH Kumar, India's first super heavyweight boxer to compete in the Olympics, eased into the quarterfinals of his debut games with a resounding win over Jamaica's Ricardo Brown. The 2-time Asian Championship bronze winner prevailed 4-1 in a split verdict. It's happy news for archery power couple Atanu Das and Deepika Kumari. Atanu qualified for the individual pre-quarterfinals, while Deepika had booked a quarterfinal berth yesterday. Das, who had lost his place to rookie Praveen Jadhav in the mixed team event after slipping to 35th place in the ranking round last week, showed nerves of steel to edge out the legendary Korean Ho Jin Haek in a one-arrow shoot-off. Playing in his second Olympics, India's Anirban Lahiri made a fine start in the weather-hit opening round, carding a 4 under 67 to be placed tied 6th. His teammate Udayan Mane, who made the field of 60 at a late stage, also had a fine start and was 1 under through 10 holes. Legend Mary Kom's pursuit for second Olympic medal ended in the pre-quarter finals as she went down to INGRIT Valencia in a fiercely fought fight. The 38-year-old legend, who was a house full of medals, lost 2-3 to the Colombian in a final Olympic bout. The occasion got to Mary as tears rolled down the legend's eyes when the referee raised Valencia's hand. Now, let's move on to the best of international events. Chinese women Yang Unzuan, Tang Mohan, Zhang Yufei and Li Bingji produced a smashing performance in a high-quality 4x200 relay to win gold with a world record performance. Although American Katie Ledecky dished out a superhuman show in the final leg, it wasn't enough as Bingji ensured that neither the Americans nor Australia triumphed since the event was introduced in 1996. American superstar Caleb Dressel flew faster than Kyle Chalmers to add the Olympic 100-meter freestyle crown to his 2 world titles. Dressel missed out on the sprint medals, the glamour events, at Rio in 2016, but he has since exploded, winning an incredible 13 titles over the past 2 world championships to be an imposing force. He is firmly on track for a potential 6-medal haul at Tokyo. Australia's track and field team was briefly placed in isolation today as the coronavirus scare caused fresh jitters just ahead of the Tokyo Olympics athletics program. Nearly 60 athletes and staff were confined to their rooms for more than 2 hours after US pole vault world champion Sam Kendricks tested positive for COVID-19. The incident was a jolting reminder of the perils facing athletes at the Tokyo Games, where the Olympic dreams are at a risk of being dashed at any moment. So much has happened today, and I'm sure you must be wondering what to watch tomorrow. Here's some key action to follow. One of India's main medal hopes, archer Deepika Kumari, takes on Russian Olympic Committee Ksenia Perova in the women's quarterfinals. Ace shuttler PV Sindhu faces Japan's Akane Yamaguchi in the quarterfinals. Boxer Lavlina Bogahan takes on Ukraine's Chen Nien-Chien in the women's welterweight quarterfinal. A rejuvenated Indian men's hockey team will be looking to finish the group stage on a high when they take on Japan in the final Pool A game. 4 more finals in swimming take place where the Americans will be keen to gain some lost ground. And finally, before we go, here's the medal tally. With that, we wind up today's action. We'll be back with all the updates tomorrow. For the latest action, make sure to log on to deccanherald.com or download the app for notifications.